Well, lockdown continues in the UK, and I've been able to make some progress upgrading my Whyte 801, and it's brakes and tubeless that I'm going to be covering in this video. Quick disclaimer, I have no experience in any of these matters whatsoever, so everything I say here should be taken with a large pinch of salt. Now, I was expecting the brake install to be one of the most straightforward elements of this kind of upgrade stuff, but I couldn't have been more wrong. I decided to go with Shimano SLXs just on the grounds that they seem to be the best value for money option. The brakes came in an unbranded box without any instructions and without any hose inserts or hose clamp, which I didn't fully understand the implications of at the time, and I just got cracking installing them on the bike, and it was a case of off with the old and on with the new. This is me putting the levers on and then just screwing the calipers on. Without the pads in, I just lined up the centre of the caliper with the old rotors. And that was that. So far, so good. It then started snowing, and this is where things started to go wrong. At this point, all I had to do was shorten the hoses and insert them into the levers, and that was that. So once I found this picture, I understood how the shortening process should work and how the hose needs to be prepared and stuff. So I ordered some inserts and made a rudimentary hose clamp just by cutting a groove in a piece of wood. And I just put the whole lot in a set of pliers and just started hitting the insert with a hammer. And this went on for some time. Hit myself on the fingers and the hand quite a lot, and also put a significant gash into the top of one of the hoses. So at this point I called a halt to proceedings in order to tend to my injuries and come up with a new plan of action. I ordered a new hose to replace the damaged one that was just damaged in a place where I couldn't kind of trim it and keep using it. It was going to be too short. I also realised I'd been using the wrong sized inserts, which wasn't helping. And I also got my hands on a barb insertion tool, which is a kind of combined hose clamp and insert driver that isn't the official Shimano one. It's a lot cheaper than that, and it worked like an absolute dream. So with the right kit, things became a lot easier, and everything kind of went together pretty much straight away. And the internal routing for the rear brake was a bit fiddly, but I just used some string and a pair of artery forceps and soon had that under control, thankfully. So the brakes come filled with oil, so once assembled there isn't really much in the way of bleeding normally needed. I did do a lever bleed on the rear brake, which just to kind of top it up, which was fine. And then the front brake, which needed the new hose, I did a full brake bleed on that, which I had to do a couple of times, but it was fairly straightforward. I also put some new rotors on and got rid of the old Tektro ones and put some new Shimano ones on. And the first impressions are good. The action of the levers feels a lot lighter and the braking feels good, so I might share some more detailed thoughts on that at a later date. So as I said in my last video, I wanted to set the tyres up tubeless so I could ride with lower tyre pressures without the risk of pinch punches. So not having done this before, I ordered a kit, a tubeless kit, and a few other things such as some spare valves, a hole plugging tool, and a plastic syringe. Inside the kit was a bottle sealant, some rim tape, a pair of valves and a set of instructions. And there was a couple of other things I used as well, like a CO2 inflator, some blue paper towel and some cleaning alcohol, and a valve core remover for taking valve cores out. So I'd had a look at tubeless hacks online, and one that cropped up quite a bit was to remove any factory installed rim tape. And when I took the tyres off the wheels, the tape that was there was so neat, I thought it was worth at least a go. So I started preparing the tyres, took the rotors off, or at least attempted to, and I made the rookie error of using a hex head in what must have been a T25 screw head and boring it out, so had to hacksaw a groove into the top of this one and spin it out with a flathead screwdriver, which wasn't the best of starts. And then clean the wheels in soapy water, and once dry just rub them around with the isopropyl. I then tried to just inflate the tyres without any sealant in, just to see if they would go up and stay up. One of them had an obvious hole in, which I was a bit surprised about because the tyre had been working fine with an inner tube. So that one went down straight away, and the other one also went down, but over a longer period. But in the end, I just decided to go for it and see if they would work in any event. So I took the valve cores out and put about 100 millilitres of sealant in, which is a bit more than is recommended, but because I thought there was probably a couple of holes in, I thought that was the best approach. I then just inflated them again and stopped when I heard the pop, screwed the valve cores in, and then just ran the sealant around the tyres, and that was enough to get it done. Fortunately, all the holes that were there just sealed up. I put some gaffer over the hole that I had found just to stop it spraying sealant everywhere. But I did find some milky trails around the kitchen floor which hinted that there'd been other holes there. There was a fair bit of leakage around the bead sort of rim area, but that seemed to stop after a day or so. And that was that. So the plan is to use these for a few months and then see how they go. Now, after getting these two jobs squared away, next up I'm going to do some of the smaller things that I mentioned in the last video. I'm still looking for ideas for things like saddle and grips, and I'd also be interested to know if anyone's got any views on the Recon fork, which I didn't mention last time. I have managed to get my hands on a 12-speed cassette and chain, but haven't been able to get a shifter yet, so I'll probably just sit on them for the time being. And that is it for now. Until next time.